So Shalom, Shalom. All
So
praise to the Most High God. Call on God, Yahweh Bashima Mashah, one Laki Habashah. Right. This is Brother Yasharala. Come back to y'all yet with another video to the Spirit and Power Yahweh Bashima Mashah, one Laki Habashah. All right. All praises again. And happy Ashar feast of dedication to all that's observing it this week, man. Right. So of course, before we get into this, let me just put in the plug in. The brother to the bottom of me, right, is Brother Ahbayah. Been laboring with this brother for quite some time now to the Spirit. It's a good brother. He has a YouTube channel as well as an Instagram page. You can look him up on that, entitled Ahbayah, right? A lot of good edification of the Spirit and power of the Lord, right? And also we have a special guest in the building. We have a special guest on the live right now. You might have seen him on the YouTube chats. You might have seen him. You might have seen him there. He's here in the flesh right now, man. Barakatha Mosiah, the one and only Barakatha Mosiah, aka the brother group, right? Good brother. And hey, he's located out here in Cali, all right. So all praise. Hey, Western Prophets, man. Hey, not to bang or anything like that, but hey, hey, West, you know what I'm saying?
that's
Come,
right.
come,
Khan Shalom, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatha.
Khan, all praise. Call on Allah, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatah. Right. So Khan, so as you can see from the title of the video, we'll be going into what? Keeping the feast days. Right. So yes, you have to keep the feast days, man. Right. It's no exceptions. You can't be the brother that's saying, hey brother, we're not in Jerusalem, so we don't have to keep the feast days. What are you doing? Right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we pull out the menorah. Hey, put that menorah down. Right? What are you doing there? Brothers that say that, that's off as hell, and we're going to demonstrate that to the Spirit and power of the Lord. Right. So let's go. I'm gonna kick it off with the book of Nahum. Right. We kick it off with the book of Nahum. Right. What did the Lord? What did the Lord say? Let's go to the words of the Lord. Nahum chapter 1 and verse 15. Behold, upon the mountains the feet of him that bringeth good tidings. Right. And we bringing good tidings to the Spirit of the Lord. What's good tidings? Good news. That's the gospel right there. Right. That publishes peace. O Judah, keep thy solemn feast. Perform thy vows, for the wicked shall no more pass through thee. He is utterly cut off. You see that? So we want, and we waiting for that too. We waiting for Esau and these other nations to be utterly cut off from the face of the earth, right? But the Lord said, "Oh Judah, keep thy solemn feast." For the Most High wants us to be keeping the feast days, right? When did that change? Pull the precept, pull the book, chapter, verse when the Lord said, "Oh Judah, don't keep thy solemn feast." Right? That's not written, but the exact opposite. Oh Judah, keep thy solemn feast. And hey, it doesn't have to say, oh Judah, plus Israel, right? It doesn't have to say, oh Judah, plus Ephraim, Manasseh, plus Issachar, right? It doesn't have to entitle all the damn 12 tribes, right? Oh Judah 8, basically talking about the whole nation of Israel. Because why would the Lord only, if that's the case, why would the Lord only want Judah to keep the feast days and all the other tribes not? Right? It doesn't make any sense. He's talking about, hey, all Israel keep this on the feast, man. Come on.
Khan. I'll get in there real quick. Khan, yeah. So we gotta keep the commandments, gotta keep the feast days. It's not done away with, right? It's what's called. It's definitely expedient, and don't forget. I'm gonna bring this out first. Judges 5 and 11. We have to rehearse the righteous acts. You can't say you're an Israelite. You can't just say you're an Israelite and not rehearse the righteous acts. If you're saying that you are Grecian, what are you doing? You're rehearsing their acts. You may put on a toga. You may put on that crown thing they got on. You may be a faggot, man. That's what Greeks do, right? Or you might say that you're an East Indian or a Muslim. You're gonna rehearse their acts. You're gonna make sure you put on, if you're a female, a hijab or something like that. I don't know what they do. Right? You're gonna do all these different things, keep their commandments. Right? So if you said you're an Israelite, which you are, if you're a so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, you have to rehearse the righteous acts through your actions, man. You can't just say you believe and you still being wicked, right? So this book of Judges, chapter 5, verse 11, they that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. So we have to rehearse the righteous acts. Just because you're not in your homeland, and things of that nature in your captivity, you're in your captivity, don't mean you can't keep the commandments. Because you keep the law of the land easily. You make sure you stop at the red light. You make sure you do certain things to keep the law of the land. So it's easy, the commandments in the Bible, right? You keep the feast days. You have people keep Christmas, Thanksgiving, what's called all these different holidays. How come you can't keep the feast days in the Bible, right? But kind of.
Right. That's a good point, man. You got a point of precept, brother?
I got one.
Con.
I'm gonna go to the book of John, chapter 10, verse 22. So it's cool if I read this one out right now. I already know brothers probably got it written down.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
This the book of John, chapter 10, verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was winter. And Yahushua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. So I'm gonna stop right there. But that goes to show you that, hey, even Yahushua, he acknowledged this feast day, the same feast day that we keep him today, and he kept it. It says he was sinless and he was perfect, so he had to keep it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's a good precept right there, man. For everybody that's saying, we don't have to keep the feast of dedication, right? You have a lot of Christians, hey, they claim to follow Christ, but guess what? Christ kept so-called Hanukkah. He did. He kept the feast of dedication, But a lot of Christians, they think that Hanukkah is just associated with the damn Jews, so-called Jews, right? The Jewish people, right? The Amalekites over there in Israel, right? The Christians, they say, oh yeah, that's their thing. Our thing is Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Our thing is Christmas, Easter, right? Thanksgiving, right? That's our thing. That's of the Lord. That's not of the Lord, right? And the feast of dedication, that's of the Most High. The day of Simon, that's of the Most High. The Passover, that's ordained of the Most High, right? These are the high holy days of the Most High and of the nation of Israel. So if we call ourselves Israelites and we trying to rehearse righteous acts, like the brother said, and indulge in our culture, right, in our heritage, that's our heritage right there. The feast of dedication. Let's go to the book of Sirach. That's our heritage. Because Jake, where's your heritage at? Where's your feast days at? What, Kwanzaa? Right, that's your feast days. Right, that's what you were doing over there in Africa. You were celebrating Kwanzaa. Jake, where's your at, man? Because every culture has their set of holy days, set apart days out of the year, right? Every culture has that. Every nation has that, man. So Jake, where's yours at? It's definitely not Christmas, right? You know what I'm saying? It can't be Halloween. That's Esau's stuff. Hey, it can't be Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving. It can't be that, man. Right? So where is yours at? It's right here in these scriptures. Right? Let's go to Sirach 24 and verse 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God, even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage unto the congregations of Jacob, man. So it's an heritage. That's our heritage right here in these scriptures, right?
Did you bring out 2nd Ezra chapter 8? Second Ezra chapter 8 and verse 6. O Lord, if thou suffer not thy servant, that we may pray before thee, and thou give us seed unto our heart, and culture to our understanding, that there may come fruit of it, how shall each man live that is corrupt, who beareth the place of a man? So the Lord said culture, because again, we have our own culture. Our culture is keep the commandments, believing in the Most High God through his son Yahushua. That's our heritage. The culture of this so-called white man is being wicked. That's in his blood, is being wicked, right? His culture is doing Christmas caroling and things. That's his culture, right? Going deer hunting. That's what they do, right? They make sure they know how to provide for the feast days. They have a great time. They Thanksgiving, they set up weeks in advance, right? But Jay don't want to do that for a feast of dedication. It's too hard to keep it, he said. But brother, all you have to do, read 1st and 2nd Maccabees, turn up in righteousness, sip some yan, have some food, man. I know brothers was throwing down in the kitchen, man. I can't say it much, but brothers was throwing down in the kitchen, right? Brothers had some, chicken, I don't know, cornbread. Hey, I don't know. right? But brothers were throwing down. They had a good time. They sipped some young. They read the book of First and Second Maccabees, and it is what it is. But Jake so tight, they don't want to keep it now, right? Because they hate their own selves. They rather
Yeah.
keep it getting Christmas instead of Feast of Dedication because they love the so-called white man. It's a spiritual battle. It's not a physical thing. It's deeper than that. Spiritually, our people are excuse my language, but effed up in the mind, man. They rather keep the so-called white man's holidays, right, instead of their own holidays because they got the coon spirit, man. Even when you read First and Second Maccabees 2, you had Jason. I believe his name was Hymenaeus or Himalayas, something like that. These were all coons that rather keep the holidays and keep the ways of the Greeks than their own people, man. So that spirit's back on the earth right now. You got coons regenerated back on the earth. But come.
I got a quick precept. It's going into, hey, we have fun. We turn up on this feast day. I was at the brother's house on the first day.
Damn. Kind of froze.
Satan, man.
Satan.
Hello, brothers, can you hear me?
Yeah, we get hear you now.
Like I was saying, on the first day of the feast day, we turned up at brothers' houses, and we had some great lamb, some great chicken. We had a good time, good yan, and we read a couple of the accounts from the Maccabees, and we threw in some precepts, and we enjoyed ourselves. We went over the scriptures. It was one of the funnest days I ever had. And, this goes along with this precept. This Sirach chapter 14 and verse 14. Defraud not thyself of the good day, and let not the part of a good desire overpass thee. So the good day is this feast day. And if you ain't keeping it, you defrauding yourself of a good day. You defrauding yourself of another day to gather with your Akim. And also, you're not obeying the commandments. You're not keeping our heritage. You're not keeping our culture. So it's very important that we keep these feast days.
Mm-hmm. I got a precept on that too, man. Your brother kind of stole my precept. But hey, it's all right, man. All praises. Hey, this is the book of Ecclesiastes. Right, let's go to Ecclesiastes, right, chapter 9 and verse 7. Right? Actually, I'm gonna hold on. All right, let me see if I want to get another one actually. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse number I'm gonna start at verse 22. Right? It says what? For what hath man of all his labor, and of the vexation of his heart, wherein he have labored under the sun. So we're being vexed in this society right now, man. Right? 24/7, we're being vexed. You know, we got Satan on every side. You know, we pull up our phone, Satan trying to get at us, right? We go to our job, we might go to school, right? Satan's there waiting for you, trying to entrap. You know what I'm saying? We being vexed on every side. Esau's oppressing us, right? We in this flesh. We keep going off. Hey, we keep getting vexed, man, in this life, right? Verse 23. For all his days are sorrows, and his travail, right? Grief. Yea, his heart taketh not rest in the night. This is also vanity. Certain brothers, they don't take rest in the night. You know, so it's like, hey, that's literally certain brothers don't take rest in the night. Like how the Lord said in Ecclesiastes 5 and 12, you know, that the sleep of labor man is sweet, right? Or whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. Esau is like, hey, Esau, you get off of a 12-hour shift, then you got a second job. So you can only rest 2 hours, but you got a second job. You have to get up, right? Certain brothers, they get up at 3 a.m. to go to work. You know, it's hella cold. They have to hop in the car and drive to work for Esau. You know, so it's madness, man. Right, but so because of that, right? Let's go to verse 24. There is nothing better for a man than that he should eat and drink. What do you do on the feast days, man? Right? What do you do on the feast days? The feast days is made for what? Rejoicing. The Lord said that these 8 days should be kept in joy and slakia and myrrh and gladness, right? Not in sorrowful and anguish, not in anxiety, but the Lord said in what? Myrrh, right? It says then that he should eat and drink, and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw that it was from the hand of the Most High. So that's from the hand of the Most High, right? Don't defraud yourself of the good day, right? Don't defraud yourself of the good day, man. All praise to the Most High. These feast days are for us, just like how the Sabbath day was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. The Sabbath day is for you, right? The Lord wants you to have that rest day. You can rest, right? And you don't overwork yourself. Certain people, they actually overwork themselves. Like when you like in Japan, Japan is known for certain men like actually overworking themselves and they die, right? Because what? They don't keep the Sabbath. They don't keep the Sabbath. They don't take any days off, right? Like literally. So the Lord, hey, all this stuff is for us that we should eat and drink and rejoice. Because in the days of our captivity, we barely have any days in which we can rejoice in, man. Right? Even if you have a child, you got to go to work 2 days after. What the hell is this? And you just got married, but still Esau's like, hey, Esau, he didn't care about that, man. Right? The Lord said that if you newly wed a wife, or you get with a new woman, that you would take a basically like a hiatus for
Con.
a year off, right? Do brothers get a year off? No. You don't get a year off, man. But see, so we being vexed in this society. So why not take this week, or actually 8 days, rather, right? 8 days to rejoice in all the labor that we have done under the sun, man, through the Spirit. Wakan.
I got appreciate with that real quick. In Sirach 31, verse 27. Wine is as good as life to a man if it be drunk moderately. And notice how it's said moderately, man. Because you don't want to be a drunkard. You're drinking up all the Hennessy. You're drinking up all the wine on a feast day. You gotta drink it moderately. There's nothing wrong with drinking some yan, getting a nice little feel, buzz and things in that nature. The Lord said it's good to a man. Makes you feel good. Makes you more chill, more relaxed, right? Makes you want to kick back and things in that nature. Some people say you can't, but the Lord says otherwise, man. Even the Lord was drinking wine, right? There's nothing wrong with going to a feast day and drinking wine. A lot of people think this truth is all about being a robot. I got to do this. I got to do that. Nope, I can't do that. Nope. Like a lot of people are over righteous in this thing, man. It's okay to kick back, chill, keep the commandments, keep the feast days with fellow brothers and fellow sisters, right? It says, "What life?" I'm gonna read it again. Wine is as life to a man if he be drunk moderately. What life is then to a man that is without wine? For it was made to make man glad. Wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind. Because you might have people that's bitter in the mind. Their mind is messed up. Their mind is bad, man. But when they keep the food dedication with brothers, they sip some yan. Guess what? They're in a good state. When they kicking back, they might be at the crib by themselves. They might have nobody. They eating good. They got their favorite food. They got some wine on the side. They're watching their favorite TV show probably, or if their favorite breakdown. Guess what? Their mind is at a relaxed state, man. So it's okay to kick back, get your favorite food on the feast days, have fun. If you're a sister, having fun with your sisters and righteousness, of course. Having fun with your brothers and righteousness, of course. Or you might be by yourself. Have fun by yourself. Have the music playing as you and the angels kicking back, eating together. Probably watching your favorite TV or breakdown or movie and things of that nature. There's nothing wrong with that. But come on.
Khan, you got it, King.
So me?
Khan.
I got a quick precept in Sirach 2. Sirach 17. And let's see. I'm gonna start at 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. And so it's our heritage. This is part of our heritage, like brothers went into. And the Edomites in America, they keep Christmas and Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day and all these other folly days. We keep the Feast of Dedication. We keep the Passover. We keep Purim. We keep the Feast of Simon, etc. Come. And this verse 12. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments. So it's everlasting. Not, we in captivity right now, so we can't keep it. We're not at Jerusalem, yada, 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 all these other excuses that some Israelites make. It's not acceptable. Hey, we got to keep it. We got to rehearse the righteous acts.
Con, that's right. That's right, King. Yeah, that's a cut right there. It says he made an everlasting covenant, man. Right. So what does everlasting mean? That means forever. Last time I checked, that's the last. Hey, it means forever. So that means, hey, what the law endures forever, right? Con. Yeah. So you have certain brothers saying that we don't have to keep the feast days. We're in captivity, and we're not in our own homeland. We're not in Jerusalem. So if that's the case, if you can't keep the feast day, because certain brothers that they say, you can't keep the feast days because you're not in Jerusalem, right? And they'll pull scriptures like, Deuteronomy 16:16, right? That you have to go to Jerusalem 3 times in a year, right? Okay, but here's the thing. If we can't keep the feast days now, right? If we can't keep the feast days now, then all right, look, then the Most High must be lying, right? Let's go to John. Let's go to John. Actually, let's go to Tobit. Go to Tobit, man.
Con.
Yeah, let's pull this real quick. And we can go to John later, but let's go to Tobit chapter 2, right? Actually, hold on. Where's this precept at? Oh yeah, yep. Tobit chapter 2, verse 1, right? It says, "Now when I was come home again," who is this talking? This is Tobit, right? "And my wife Anna was restored unto me with my son Tobias in the feast of Pentecost." What is the feast of Pentecost? The feast of Pentecost is called basically it denotes 50 days after the Passover, right? Pentecost 50, right? It's also called the Feast of Weeks, right? In the Feast of Pentecost, which is the holy feast of the 7 weeks, there was a good dinner prepared for me, right? In the which I sat down to eat. What do you do on the day of Pentecost? You what? Eat and drink, like how Ecclesiastes says, right? And myrrh and gladness. So you had a good dinner. It didn't just say a dinner. It's not just your regular dinner. It's a good dinner prepared for him, right? In the which that he sat down and eat, man, right? So how come Tobias, and his family, who righteous men, right, and women, how come they were keeping the Pentecost, but they weren't in Jerusalem? They were in exile, right? They were literally living in what basically the empire was called the Slovakia, right? Yeah, they were led away of the Assyrians, so they were in the I believe the Assyrian captivity, not mistaken, right? So they weren't in Israel, they weren't in Jerusalem, but they were still keeping the day of Pentecost. So how much more us, right? And Tobit, his book is in here. His book is in the scriptures. Where's your book at? Right? All you brothers that's saying, this and that, the Most High, he hates your feast days. I don't know why you doing that, right? Hey, brothers are posting posts on their Instagram and whatnot. Hey, Shar, your block to die, Shar, feast dedication. Here this brother goes, right? He's sitting on the couch, with Cheeto hands, right? Cheeto hands. He's on the phone, like, I don't know why these brothers try to keep the feast days. He's not supposed to be keeping them, brother. You don't make videos. You don't do the work, frankly. You might watch some videos, right? You might read a little bit. You might hit the blunt too, right? You might hit the blunt a few times too. I'm just saying, because brothers that say that, their doctrine waxes worse and worse.
Are you done, King? Are you still going?
Con, nah, you got it.
Con, yeah, Ezra. I'm gonna get another account too. Ezra, he was a man of the Most High God. And let's see what he says, man. First, I'm gonna get Ezra 7:10, and it reads, For Ezra had prepared his heart to seek the law of the Lord and to do it, and to teach in Israel statute and judgment. So notice how I said he prepared his heart to seek the law, and he did it. And then after he did it, he taught it, man. All of our people only do what? They barely prepare their heart. All they do is watch videos, like their brother's saying, kick it back on the couch, the seat, reclining, right? They just got done smoking a blunt right before the Sabbath day. That's what they do. They don't keep the feast days. There's a difference there's really a difference between certain, people in the truth and certain people that's lukewarm. People in the truth, they don't make excuses. They got to bear along with it. And they love to keep the feast days, honestly. But the people who's lukewarm is a burden to them. When it start being a burden to you, you should really check your spirit. You should really fast and things in that nature if you start becoming a burden to you, because the Lord said you got to do it with your whole heart. You got to have a perfect heart toward the Lord, man. Because he will not accept your offering.
Damn. Oh, Con, you back.
It's madness, man. Can brothers hear me?
Con. Damn. You said what?
Cut out.
Yeah.
All
right. Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, the alarm went off. But now you got to do it with the whole heart. I'm going to read it again, Ezra 7:10. For Ezra had prepared his heart to seek the law of the Lord and to do it, and to teach in Israel statutes and judgments. And Ezra was a high priest. So who are you to say that you don't have to keep the commandments or keep the feast days? Ezra said he sought the law of the Lord and he did it. Right? But we'll go to Ezra 6 and verse 19. And the children of the captivity kept the Passover upon the 14th day of the first month. So the people who was in captivity, they still kept the Passover. You might say that that's impossible. You can't do that. We're in captivity. You still celebrate Easter, my brother. You over here celebrating Easter. You're the first one at the Easter Sunday service. You're the first man there. You're greeting Sister Cherry. You're greeting all these aunties, things in that nature. You seen your kids in the backyard, in the back of the church, to play what's called finding the egg and things in that nature. That's what you're doing. What we're doing, we're keeping the Passover. We got the lamb, we got the bitter herbs, we got the blood of Christ, if brothers can understand, right? And the wine, right? And we're keeping this thing in a solemn assembly. Even, brother, I might twist brother's head with this one, but I'm gonna get this precept real quick too, right? Just because even David was on this on that time, Psalm 81 and verse 3, and it reads, "Blow up the trumpet in the new moon." So David said, "We gotta blow up the trumpet in the new moon." That's another feast day we should be doing. That's Numbers chapter 10 and verse 9 to verse 10. We should be blowing the trumpet at the new moon, which is what, tomorrow at sundown, actually, right? Which is not a coincidence, right? So we blow the trumpet in the new moon, read Slakia, in the time appointed on our solemn feast days, right? So we should be having a blast, doing things in righteousness on our solemn feast day. The Passover is known as a solemn feast day as well, right? Verse 4, for this was a statute for Israel in a law of the God of Jacob. So it's a statute. It's a law of the Most High God. You have to keep the commandments. You have to keep the law. You have to keep the feast days. Okay.
Con. You want it? Or it's on me?
Yeah, Con, you got it, King. You got it.
Con, I'm gonna pretty much get to the breakdown of how this feast day started, who celebrated it, what's the purpose of it, and I'm gonna start at First Maccabees 1. First Maccabees 2 and 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, "Whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow after me." So you put a decree out throughout all Israel, saying, because they were pretty much forcing the people to become Greeks, uncircumcise themselves, uncircumcise them children, and go after the Greek ways. And Mattathias refused. And he said, "Whosoever is zealous of the law, follow me." And then that's simple. Hey, that's the beginning of this feast day. That's how it starts off. Hey, the people who were zealous of the law, they followed behind the Maccabees brothers.
Con. That's right, King. That's right.
So basically, this feast day is for people who are zealous of the law. And if you keep the law, that means you love God. But this is the law of God.
Mm-hmm. Gone. That's right. All praises. All praises. Gone. And yeah, like, keeping this feast day, man, it's even more, you being connected of being an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? You being more connected as being an Israelite. Because first of all, Yahweh Shai, he kept it. Hey, that's the end of it, right? That's the end of it. That means you have to keep it. Because literally, okay, let's get this precept, right? First John. Right? Right. Yahweh Shai, he was trying to be he was blameless. Yahweh Shai was blameless. Right. First John chapter 2, verse 6. He that saith he abideth in him, ought himself also to walk even as he walked. So if you say you abide in the Most High God, you say you believe in the Most High and in Yahweh Shai, you have to walk as he walked, right? So that means in every manner, just like how Yahweh Shai, he forgave his neighbor, we have to forgive our neighbors. Just like how Yahweh Shai, he kept the feast days, we have to be keeping the feast days. He himself also walked even as he walked, right? So, just how Yahweh Shai walked, he kept the feast days, right? He was keeping the commandments. We have to keep the commandments, man, right? It's nothing new, it's nothing, you know, it's not that hard to understand, right? But certain people, they'll be, and like how the brother was saying, certain Christians, they'll be like, why are you keeping the feast days? Now you're under the bondage of the law, brother. You're under the bondage of the law. How is that the bondage of the law? Wait, but you keep Christmas. Isn't Christmas very, very stressful, right? It's very, very stressful because you got to get this gift. You got to get this gift in time. Oh shit, they ran out. You know what I'm saying? Ah, damn, they're all running out. If the package is going to come too late, it's going to come on January 1st instead of 25th. So you can't get that. You got to get the speed. You got to get Amazon Prime, right? But in order for you to get Amazon Prime, you have to pay. You're like, ah, damn, right? I guess I got to pay this. Hey, Christmas literally is hella expensive and hella stressful, but you want to keep the most of feast days, right? You want to do that.
Salaki. Not
Yeah.
only is it hella expensive and all those other things, it's also a sin. And we can prove that easily according to the Bible. Go not the way of the heathen.
Hey, you trying to bring that out for us?
I'll get there. What, Jeremiah 10?
Yep, Jeremiah 10. Let's start at verse 1. It's a good point, man. Not only is it expensive, it's a money gimmick, and it's also a sin. So it's all a win. It's all a lose. Like it's all lose. It's a lose, right? But you wouldn't even keep the most out feast days, right? Because you just want to, profit yourself. It's not just about us. It's about the Most High and Yahweh Shai, right? It's not just about us, man. Even though these feast days is for us, yeah, it's for myrrh and our gladness. But on a deeper level, keeping the law is not just about us. It's about the nation, right? And Yahweh Shai and the Most High God. But our people is just about them, right? Yeah, I'm trying to get this, I'm trying to get that, right? And you only go to Thanksgiving because you want to eat all that damn food, right? That's why. What I'm saying? You want to eat all that damn food, right? You want to celebrate Halloween, you youngins, because you want all that damn candy, right? You just want the candy. You know what I'm saying? You want to do it for fun. It's all about pleasure, right? It's all about pleasing the flesh. That's what America's about, But bring that out, King.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, and I'm going to start at 2. Thus saith Yahweh.
Salakia. Start at verse 1.
Verse 1. Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Right. O house of Israel, right? Keep going.
Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of the heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right. So the Most High explicitly stated, learn not the way of the heathen. Right. So the way of the heathen, the way of the Gentiles, the Lord said, do not learn their ways, right? And it's going to say, right? It's going to say what's one of the ways of the heathen, right? Keep going.
Verse 3. For the custom of the people are vain.
Right. Fine, you got it.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest,
Mm-hmm.
the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
Uh-huh.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
With what?
With silver and with gold.
Look at this. Look at that. See that? They deck it with silver and with gold. Go ahead.
They fasten it with nails and with
Mm-hmm.
hammers, that it move not.
That it move not. So one cuts with the axe a tree out of the forest. They put it in their house. They deck it with silver and gold, and they idolize it. This is see that? It's literally in the scriptures, right? It's literally in the scriptures. Because remember, this goes back into Babylonian God and worships. Christmas is not about Christ because they celebrated it before Mahashiach Yahushua was even born. So how's it even about Christ, right? So Christmas, it's off, right? You shouldn't be celebrating Christmas, man. That's off. And look at how much these trees cost, man. $1,000, right? $205 for a tree, for a Christmas tree, and it's artificial. You're just gonna buy it just for what 2 weeks at most. You're not gonna keep it in your house for a whole year, right? So it's madness. It's madness. But yeah, Khan, that's crazy, man. Right? It's crazy. But yeah, Khan. So yeah, so you keeping Christmas, but you don't want to keep the Feast of Dedication, right? You want to keep Easter, right? But you don't want to keep Passover, right, for the Lord. It doesn't make any sense. But Khan, you got it.
I just want to get this classic real quick. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. So when you envy something, there's like covetousness. I wish I can do that. I wish I wouldn't do that. That's why Eve, we dye her hair blonde, because they wish they had that stringy dog hair, right? And things of that nature. They flat iron it and dye it blonde. That's why our people do all these customs of the heathen, because they envy the oppressor and choose his ways. But the Lord said, do completely opposite. And there's different reasons why our people do that, whether it be because they really love to do it and they're coons, or their significant other forces them or convince them and things of that nature, influence them to keep it. A lot of people trim their ways for love. You might have fringes on before and things of that nature, probably growing your beard out and things of that nature, but then a brother or a sister came up, guess what? It was a heathen, or it was a heathen twofold. Heathen as an actual heathen, or heathen as an Israelite that acts like a heathen. Not in the truth. You go over for dinner one day. On one day, you see the Christmas tree up. The mom tells you should stay over tonight. You stay over. The next day is Christmas. Next thing you know, you open Christmas presents with them, huh? And now you're trimming your way for love. But now the Lord, he said he's going to destroy you for that, though, because you cannot choose the way of the oppressor. The same way we have our holy days. Our holy days is made up of the destruction of our enemy, rejoicing, and our salvation. That's where our holy days are made up of. Same thing with the so-called white men. Their holy days, pagan days, are made up of wickedness. They've given the slaughtering of our people, right? Christian idolatry, right? I mean, not Christian, Christmas idolatry, and what's called all these other pagan holidays is all idolatry and wickedness and pagan holidays. We shouldn't be doing it. So we can't be following the ways of the oppressor, because we're not going to. That's not going. Lord's not going to deal with that. Let me get one more precept.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want Psalm 62 and verse 10, and it reads, let me see, Psalm 62 and verse 10. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. But his point is, we can't trust in our oppression. A lot of people trust in society. Yeah, I can't wait until next. I can't wait to have fun with my family for the Christmas and things of that nature. I can't wait to do this, that, and the third on Thanksgiving. All the time, you're all under oppression, and you're celebrating the death of your own people. You got it.
Khan, that's right. And Salaki, right? I had a point too, going in onto that. Because let me get this precept, Proverbs 7 and 21. With much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. See that? So Jake, Eve, our people, and the heathen too, right? They get enticed by the American way. You know what I'm saying? They're watching TV. That's why we have to watch what we are watching on TV, right? Even commercials, man. Even commercials can put a spirit on, right? Because let's play this, right? They're playing you're getting a gift. It's about the family, right? You know what I'm saying? It's about the family. Just celebrate it. Just feast with us. Why don't you come over, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, your kids will be happy. It says what? With the flattering of her lips, she forced him, right? So certain people and they're forced they feel like they're entitled. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, my son, he been wanting this. So I gotta do it, right? I gotta get it. I gotta get it for him, right? For Christmas. You know what I'm saying? That's madness. Certain people they feel like they're entitled. If they don't do it, they're going to be shunned. They don't want to be shunned, right? So they just going to get they're just going to partake in it. It's madness. That's how you know it's of Satan, right? That's how you know it's of Satan. Like for the feast days of the Most High, we want brothers and sisters to keep the feast days. We want them. We want them to, but we're not going to we're not going to force people to come to the feast day. We're pulling on the brother's arm. Come to the feast day. If you don't keep the feast, if you don't keep the feast, that's on you. That's on you. We showed you the precepts. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you're trying to keep the other commandments, that's cool. But hey, you always welcome. But again, you got to keep the feast days. You got to keep the feast days. But the thing is, right? Certain people for Christmas, they really get like physical with it. They'll force you to come. They'll be calling you names, right? They'll be making fun of you. Excluding you just because you don't want to come, right? Just because you want to partake in the evil, right? Let's go to Exodus 23. All right, let's go back to the law. Exodus chapter 23. And that's why a lot of people do celebrate it too. I know certain people, they're tired of it. They're tired of these American holidays. Jakes in the world, they're tired of it. Certain Jakes. But they still keep it. You know what I'm saying? They still keep it because of the multitude, right? Because everybody else is doing it. Because they want to be just like everybody else. Hey, what do the Most High say? That we're a separate people. We're not the Most High say that. We're a separate people. So why are we trying to be like everybody else? It don't make any sense, right? Exodus chapter 23, verse 1. Thou shalt not raise up a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. So the Most High said, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. You see all these people celebrating Christmas. They're talking about what their plans are going to be. They're talking about they're going to go back to Chicago, back to New York, right? They're going to go see their family, right? Nobody's asking you about, what you doing for the feast of dedication. Nobody's asking you that. Nobody's asking you, hey, what you what are you planning, what are you planning for Passover this year? Nobody's asking you at your job, man. Right? They're just talking about folly and madness. And they ask you, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing for Christmas? Oh, I don't celebrate that. You don't celebrate that? Why? Now you have to explain why. You know what I'm saying? Or if you just try to keep it short and see, I just don't. Why are you being rude? Why are you being rude? Right? I don't like your attitude. Now you see that? But con, it's all manner of vexation. Con.
And on another level, the feast dedication, like every holy day of ours, has a spiritual aspect to it. And during this week, we purged Esau out of our temple. We got rid of all his abominations, and we rededicated it back to the Most High. Mm-hmm. And somebody bring that out. Your body's a temple. We know that, and we the temple now, because Esau they tore down our spiritual, our physical temple. but that don't mean that we don't have a temple now to this day. You got it?
Con, you want 1 Corinthians 3:16?
Con.
Con, I'll get it. Oh, praise. 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are.
Con. So that, hey, we the temple of God. So back in those days, we kicked Esau out of our physical temple, and we
Right.
got rid of all of his abominations, all of his folly that he had going on up in there, and we rededicated it back to the Most High Yahweh. And
Right.
now in this day, hey, our body is this temple. So hey, you need to purge your body of all the impurities that Esau is pushing on you, and get rid of that. And all of his philosophies and all of his ways, get rid of that. Purge that out, like the Maccabees brothers did. Be a mighty warrior. Purge it out. It's a spiritual battle.
Mm-hmm. Con, that's a very good point. A very good point. Con.
No folly, no Christmas, no Thanksgiving. Purge that out.
Mm-hmm.
Got that from Esau.
Mm-hmm. Con, that's right. That's right. Salak, I had one quick precept on that. Now pass it to Ahbayah. First Maccabees chapter 4, right? And verse what? Verse 42, right? It says, so he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as have pleasure in the law. So on a spiritual level, we're priests, you know what I'm saying? And we hope to be a blameless conversation, but we're priests on a spiritual level. We understand that, right? The Lord said in First Peter 2:9 that we're a chosen generation, a kingdom of priests, basically, roughly paraphrasing, right? A royal priesthood, right? And holy nation. Verse 43, who cleansed the sanctuary. So we're cleansing the sanctuary right now, right? And bear out the defiled stones into an unclean place. So what's the defiled stones? What's the defiled stones in the temple? Because we know that we as a collective, we're the temple of the Most High. So we have to cast out the damn defiled stones, right? Brothers that's being unprofitable, right? The works that's being unprofitable, we got to cast that off, like the brother said, right? We got to cast out these defiled stones, right? Like certain brothers, they may be causing strife amongst the camp. You might have to cast them out, right? He's always lying. He's always backbiting. He's always causing confusion in the camp. You might have to kick him out, right? Give it, like the Lord said, give him on to Satan, that he may not learn how to blaspheme, right? Or you might be dealing with certain people, but every time you deal with them, the spirit just hop on you, and now you just collapse into sin. Well, hey, you got to cast them off. Cast off those defiled stones out of the temple, because that don't belong there, and replace it with goodly stones. If you have ears to hear, instead of you smoking, right? Instead of you smoking your damn lungs out, now you're reading till your eyes hurt. See that? You replaced it. You threw out those defiled stones. Now you put in the good ones, right? So Con.
Okay, praise with that. Classic 1 Corinthians 15:33. Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupt good manners. So evil communication can corrupt a good manner. When you may be living with your parents or things in that nature, and you might have family come over you might have people come over for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, and next thing you know, you're down there in the living room with everybody else. Next thing you know, you got your grandma asking you, what do you want to be in the future, and things in that nature. In a deep conversation, talking about, yeah, I want to do this, that, and the third. And that's what they tell you. Well, you won't be able to do that if you're always focused on reading the Bible and things of that nature. Sometimes you got to sacrifice some things in order to make it into society. That's the conversation that's evil, man. It's going to corrupt the gut man. The Lord's not dealing with that. Or you might be at Thanksgiving, right? What's called? At first you was upstairs, so you was in your room. You didn't want to go downstairs and things of that nature. Then you go downstairs with your siblings, hang out with them. Next thing you know, they actually you want to smoke a blunt. Let's smoke a blunt before dinner, right? You be like, your faith isn't there yet. You be like, well, I mean, it's Thanksgiving. The next thing you know, you fall at the truth, brother. right? Because you wasn't what's it called, being diligent and staying away from all appearance of evil. Let me get that to too. That's the spirit actually. Let me get Thessalonians. You have to abstain from all appearance of evil. Because if you don't, you're gonna get tempted. Look what happened to Lot. You know, at first he pitched towards Sodom, right? He wasn't in Sodom. He pitched towards Sodom. Next thing you know, he's in Sodom because he got lured in their glorious kingdom, man. So you don't want to be seduced. Yeah, that's a better word. Seduced by these things. This book is First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 22. Abstain from all appearance of evil. So whoever's and honestly, whoever's walking contrary to you, you should keep it at a yay or nay basis. You know, just say what you gotta say and just leave, man. You know, you don't really want to talk to a lot of people in the world because next thing you know, you're gonna get seduced. You might start looking back into the world and things of that nature is unprofitable. Because I just want to touch on the precept you brought up. I want to get this precept too. I'm gonna get two more precepts to lock you. This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 18. Therefore, whereas we are now proposed to keep the purification of the temple upon the 25th day of the month Caslu, we thought it necessary to certify you thereof, that ye also might keep it, as the feast of the tabernacles and of the fire, which was given us when Nehemiah offered sacrifice after that he had built the temple and the altar. So they said that you should be keeping the feast of dedication and the feast of tabernacle. You should be keeping these different feast days in the remembrance of our forefathers. But again, you're gonna have coons and these wicked Israelites who wants to do the ways of the heathen. Right? I'm gonna get that precept too. Because Second Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 10, right? Yeah, it's a good. Hey, Second Maccabees go in too. First and Second Maccabees go in, but get straight to the point. Second Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 10, which when the king had granted and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion. So this man, I believe this is Jason. Yeah, it's Jason, right? He went to go to Antiochus, I believe, to get a license to do after the ways of the heathen. He got the license. Then guess what? He came back and he forced the Israelites to do after the way of the heathen. Okay, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
I got a quick precept to go along with Jason and them type of coon brothers who dislike who rather choose the heathen ways over the ways of their own people. And it's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 11 and 21. And it reads, then certain ungodly persons who hated their own people went into the king and told him that Jonathan besieged the tower. So basically, these people, they went and told, it's like almost like Nat Turner rebellion. He was brought down by his own people because they went and told the oppressor where he was hiding. And we know how that story went. And the Most High says if you choose in the way of the oppressor and letting him know what's going on and informing and choosing his ways, then you're ungodly and you hate your own people.
Mm-hmm.
So choose the ways of us, not the ways of the oppressor.
Khan, that's right. That's right. Yep. Yep. You got the ways of these other nations and you got the ways of the Most High. Right? Let's get this precept in the book of First Kings. Right? This is a fire precept. This is the book of First Kings, chapter 18 and verse number 21. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long halt ye between two opinions? So, hey, at one point in time, I was halting between two opinions. At one point in time, basically everybody, right? All of us that came to this truth, this spirit of the Lord, we were halting between two opinions. You know, certain brothers longer than others, certain brothers shorter than others. But we are all halted between two opinions, whether to serve the Most High or to serve Satan. You know, we're given that red or blue pill, you know, on a spiritual level. And yeah, do you want to stay? Do you want to be woke? Do you want to be woken up to this truth, or you want to stay asleep? Which one? We all had to make that decision through the spirit. right? On a physical level. It says, what? How long halt ye between two opinions? If Yahweh be the Most High, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answer him not a word. They were confounded, you know? You said what?
So I didn't say anything. That was my phone.
Okay, Khan, that's right. That's right, man. So, hey, the Lord, right? It says what? If Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh shall be God, follow him. We believe that he's the Most High. That's why we followed him, right? But if Baal, so if Satan, Esau, Satan, these other nations, if they know what's going on, if you think that they know what's going on, if you want to follow them, hey, then follow them, man. Then go ahead and celebrate Christmas, right? See what happens, right? Go ahead and partake in the evils of this society. See what happens, right? Verse 22. Then said Elijah unto the people, even I remain a prophet of the Lord. Sometimes it might feel like that for you, man, right? Out of all your family, you're the only one in the truth, right? Out of everybody in your family, you're the only one, right? The Lord chose you. Not your cousins, not your aunties, not your uncles. The Lord chose you. It says, I remain a prophet of the Lord. But Baal's prophets are 450 men. So you have a lot. You remember, the multitude of evildoers is much, much more than the righteous. The Lord says, straight and narrow, right, is the way that leadeth to life, and few there be that find it. But broad is the way, right, that leadeth unto what? Destruction. And many there be which go in thereat. So there's going to be a lot of people celebrating Christmas. We don't marvel at that fact. The Lord said that a lot of people are going to be doing that, man. It's going to be much more those that perish than those that are saved, as the Lord said, right? So you don't see a lot of brothers keeping the feast of dedication. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's not a lot at the same time, if you understand. It's not as much as, as people keep Halloween. It's not as much as how many people keep damn Thanksgiving. It's not as much as of the great amount of multitude of people that keep Christmas. You have literally almost all nations celebrating Christmas, but do you have all nations celebrating the day or the Feast of Tabernacles, right? Well, you will have that in the kingdom of heaven, though.
Con.
You will have that, but and this time right now, no, you got the 450 evil men, right? But that's a spiritual number as well. Con. Yes.
Who's it on?
You got it.
Yeah, if you got
Yeah.
it.
Actually, Yasharala, you probably get one more. Actually, I'm trying to look for this precept.
I got one. Con, it's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verse 47. Maybe I'll start at 40. I'll start at 44. 43. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king, if you got something, you can stop me, bro. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days. So, hey, that's of the heathen. The heathen wants you to profane the Sabbath and the feast days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. So that's what Esau did. He went up in our temple and sacrificed swine's flesh and unclean beast. And the purpose of sacrificing the beast is because it's a sweet smelling savor to the Most High. That's why we sacrifice lambs, rams, goats, bullocks. But they put
Right.
swine, and they wanted to. That's their way of saying F the Most High, pretty much. They know that he ate swine, and they sacrificed it, and they wanted him to smell that. And not only to him, but his people too. They say, hey, don't do the Sabbath, don't celebrate the feast days. And anybody telling you that, you gotta kind of look at that, brother, because that's what the heathen want you to do. They want you to profane the feast days, profane the Sabbath days, profane the temple. And a man of the Lord wouldn't do that. That's why we're here trying to teach our people. Okay.
Go on, get this precept. Okay, you got to go ahead, King.
Allah, you got it. You got it.
I just want to get this point too in Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. So you gotta remember the Most High God, Bahashim Yahushua, and our heritage and customs right now before all hell break loose. Because when all hell break loose in Jacob's trouble, when that famine hits, when all hell's breaking loose, you won't be able to turn up in righteousness. You may be by yourself in a FEMA camp. You might be in a FEMA camp for 3 days without food. You're gonna be thinking, man, I wish I kept that feast day. I wish I would have went to that new moon and had a blast with my brothers, man. You're gonna be thinking that, but guess what's gonna be too late. That's why it's time to do it now, right? You got to do it now. You got to put forth your whole strength into everything you do now, because you're never gonna have a chance when you're in the grave when Jacob's trouble comes to pass. So
Khan, that's right. That's exactly right. Huh? I got this precept too, the classic Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, and verse number 1. It says, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. So you have a time and a place for everything. Okay, so even keeping the feast days, being joyful, right? Being merry, dancing, you know. Wouldn't you think that David would be dancing? No. Come on. David was known for that. And then you got McCall. You got you got brothers with the spirit of McCall on them, man. Right? I don't know why brothers are, I don't know.
Con.
Why are you dancing? We're in captivity. You know. Why turn off that music. We're don't you know we're in captivity? Right? Hey, brother, hey, listen, you gotta read Ecclesiastes. You know, it's not you can't just lock yourself up in your damn room, put handcuffs on yourself, you put on sackcloth, right? And dust and ashes every day. No, you're not supposed to be doing that, right? Not every day. you know, hey, brothers are keeping the feast days, we're eating, you know what I'm saying? We're having a good time. And you got one brother on Instagram, right? He's looking at stories. Yeah, they're eating. I'm fasting, right? Come on now. Don't be fasting on the feast days and stuff, man. Right? There's a time and a place for everything. You don't want to be over righteous. You know, if you try to be this austere brother, that's just 24/7, just austere as hell, and you don't smile, right? You don't smile, you don't try to have a good time ever, right? It's just hey, we in captivity, right? Take that smile off your face, right? That's off. That's off. The Lord said that there's a time and a place for everything under the heaven, you know. Gone. And even, hey, don't you think Yahweh Shai, he had his times too? When he was laughing, when he was being merry, right? He was drinking wine, and being merry, right? The Lord says, shall the bridegroom, shall the bride, shall they basically fast, when they're being married, during the wedding, right? Should you fast during the wedding? No. So should you fast during, the Lord said that, right? In the book of Matthew, the 8th chapter, I believe. So how much more on the feast day? If you wouldn't fast on the wedding, because it's a joyful day, right?
Con.
Then how much more for Slakia Khan and how much less on a feast day? That's ordained in the Most High. The Lord literally said that you should keep this day in myrrh and gladness. But Khan.
Con, I got a quick preset. Like the brothers going into, we don't know Right now, like it's a time and a place for everything. Right now, it's a time of feast of dedication. In Jacob's trouble, brothers might not know. Brothers probably won't have a calendar on deck. Brothers will not know when is the month of Caslu. So this is a quick precept. This John chapter 9 and verse 4. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. So this is part of the works, like keeping these feast days. It's gonna be a time when no man can keep the feast days, unless
Right.
Khan.
Khan, that's a good precept. Yep.
Like
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta go ahead. Go ahead, Salaki.
I was just gonna hammer it in, like the brothers is getting into. It's a time and a place for everything. Right now, it's the feast of dedication. We're supposed to be remembering that, but that's it.
I just want to get a precept. Matthew chapter 26, verse 30. And when they had sung in hymn, they went out unto the Mount of Olives. So even the apostles in Yahushua, they were singing on the Passover, man. They were singing on the Passover. You know, brothers be rapping. Right? At first, you know, everybody, they were just talking. Next thing you know, a brother plays that beat. He plays a beat on the phone, on the speaker. Now, guess we got the sisters, they're doing their own thing over there. They got the brothers, they rapping for 2 hours straight. A freestyle going around in a circle. That's what Jake be doing, man. And I witness it all the time. Every time at the feast day, someone is rapping, man. Right? But there's something wrong with that, man. You know, brothers turning up in righteousness, brothers being themselves in this thing, having a fun time and things of that nature. If that's in your spirit to do so, guess what? Brothers gonna do that. If your spirit is to just chill, kick back, sip some yan, guess what? Brothers gonna do that. You cannot condemn them because they're enjoying the feast day and being merry and being glad. Because again, Yahushua, he was doing the same thing. He was with his boys, for lack of better terms, his friends. He even called them friends. I believe him. Is it John 14 or 15? He called them friends.
That's John 14, I believe.
He called them friends. So Yahushua, he was kicking back with his bros, man, his brothers, man. Right, sipping some yan, you know, and things, you know, singing some songs with them. So how much more you, when you with your brothers or you with your sisters, you should be kicking back, having a fun time, eating, speaking, talking in righteousness and things of that nature. And you know, stop being tense, right? Stop being tense, you know. Stop being a lion in the household all the time on a feast day. Just chill, man.
Khan, it's lucky. That's John 15:14. Khan. Okay. John 15:14. It's lucky. Yeah, Khan, that's right, man. That's right. All praises to the Most High. So yeah, at this time we can we're going to close out and we're going to bring out our closing precepts. All right, closing precepts. So any other precept you want to bring out before closing the video? So Khan, brother, got a precept.
I'm gonna touch on what my brother said about David, man. Because David, he didn't do things for men. He did things for the Most High God, right? But this is book of 2 Samuel, chapter 6, 6 and verse 16. And as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, looked through a window and saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord, and she despised him in her heart. So David was doing his thing, man. I believe when you read on down, he danced out his clothes. You know, usually when you hear people get stomped out their clothes, they get beat up for their clothes. But David, he was dancing so hard, his clothes fell off, man. His robe, his garments fell off in this thing. That's how we should be too. You know, rejoicing in the Lord. You know, to all hell break loose. But the point is, I'm gonna go down to verse 21, and it reads, and David said to Michal, it was before the Lord which chose me before thy father and before all his house to appoint me ruler over the people of the Lord, over Israel. Therefore will I play before the Lord. You see that? And yet, I won't keep going, verse 22, and I will yet be more vile than thus, and will be base in my own sight. And of the maidservants which thou hast spoken of them shall I be had in honor. So they didn't care what Michal had to say. Guess what he said? Just for you saying that, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to go harder, actually. I'm going to do it in front of the maidservants. You can't do nothing about it. So, you know, you got to be like David in this thing and rejoice in righteousness. But Khan,
I'm gonna let me back off my last point. How the heathen sacrifice swine on our temple. This is what we did. This First Maccabees chapter 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 55. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising God of heaven, who had given them good success. And so they kept the feast of dedication. So they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers they renewed and hanged doors upon them. So they kind of got into it. They decorated.
Ugh. Hey, it's just Satan, man. So, come waiting for it to come on. I got Isaiah 66 and verse 22, right? I'm gonna start at verse 21. Right? It says, "And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Lord." Right? For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. So the Israelites are going to remain forever, right? Verse 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh Shema Shaka.
Yes.
Right. So all praises, man. That's the cut. The new moons and the Sabbaths will be in the kingdom of heaven, right? So yeah, you can say all you want. Yeah, we're not in Jerusalem right now, right? You can say that all you want, but hey, guess what? The fact of the matter is, the feast days, we still got to keep them. Very, very expedient, very, very beneficial to you, both on a physical and on a spiritual level, you know? Because there's nothing bad you can say about the feast days, right? You can't, there's nothing bad. I don't know what people will say. There's really nothing bad for the feast days, you know. Christians will try to pull that card, you under the yoke of the law. What are you talking about, man? Right? The feast days is not supposed to be a burden onto us, but for a delight, you know. So, that's madness, man. But the fact of the matter is, literally all these high holy days will be in the kingdom of heaven. They will be kept by not only the Israelites, but all these other nations. You don't want to keep it a destruction. And no, like it says in Zechariah, no rain. All praises. Yeah, you got it, Baruch.
That's lucky. My phone had died, but
Con.
like I was getting into in Maccabees 4 and verse 57, they decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gate and the chambers they renewed and hanged doors upon them. So they kind of got into this thing. They decorated. They put up silver and gold and righteousness, of course. And I'm gonna keep reading on this. Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for the reproach of the heathen was put away. Hey, so they got rid of all the things that the heathen had going on in there, and they rededicated it back to the Most High. And they decorated and they celebrated and they sipped some yan, and they enjoyed themselves. They turned up in righteousness. And that's all we telling our people to do. Purge yourself of the ways of Esau. All the things that the heathen is telling, all this philosophies and ways of living, hey, purge yourself of that. Rededicate the temple back to the Most High and turn up in righteousness and celebration of that. With that, I yield.
All praise. Mighty points, mighty precepts, mighty brothers to the spirit of the Lord, man. All praise. So Ashar Rock, Slakia. Oh, hey, that's coming up, actually. That's coming up. I was about to say Ashar Rock. Hey, happy feast of dedication to the spirit. Hope it's been going well for everybody that's observing it this week. Also happy, early happy, new moon through the spirit. Remember, it's going to be Friday sundown and Saturday sundown. So actually, it will fall on the weekly Sabbath. So it will fall on the weekly Sabbath. So it's a feast day upon a feast day upon another feast day. All praise. All praises. So we're gonna double up, Lord willing, on the food. Lord willing, it's gonna be beautiful, beautiful high holy day, man. Right to the spirit. So Khan. Brothers have anything else? Khan, all praises to the most high God. It's your brother Yasharala.
His brother Baruch.
Brother Ahbayah.
Khan come back, show yet another video through the spirit power Yahweh Bashma Masha Walak Yahweh. Lord willing, this is edifying. Keep the feast days to the spirit. Shalom. Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala. Shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Barakatha.
Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Shalom.